Yo, it's all but official. Terry Stotts chimes in on who's actually going to be starting for the Portland Trailblazers come the 2020-2021 season. Let's talk about that.
Welcome to the My City, My Game pod show featuring Raider J77, your place for all things Raiders and all things Trailblazers. Brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Now let's go.
Yo, what is good? What is good? This is the My City, My Game pod show. I am Raider J77, your host. And this is the first official Trailblazers video that is being posted on the My City, My Game pod show channel. So welcome. I appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to all the subscribers, all the loyal viewers, all the loyal fans of the My City, My Game pod show. I appreciate you. If you have not already, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I will be doing a 500 subscriber giveaway. So make sure you hit that bell for notifications because I will release a video on what steps you need to take to be able to be a part of that giveaway. So definitely check that out. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. I appreciate you. But let's get into what we are here to talk about. We're here to talk about, one, the starting lineup for the Portland Trailblazers. Terry Stotts had some interesting things to say, and there is an interesting article out on NBCSports.com. But specifically, NBC Sports Northwest is who actually produced the article. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. There's some interesting stuff in there as far as the starting lineup is concerned. As well, we're going to talk some news and notes. But first, I want to let you guys know that the Portland Trailblazers will be starting their preseason game on December 11th, Friday, against the Sacramento Kings. So it's back, man. NBA season is back. The offseason is over. The moves have been made. You know, some things are still going on with trades and things of that sort. But for the most part, man, it's time to rock and roll, man. It's time to get going. And I'm excited about some of the things that the Trailblazers have done. I'm excited about this preseason. I'm definitely going to be tuning in. I will be streaming games live. I may not be able to get every game, but I will do my best to stream as many games as possible because there are a lot of games, and we also are in the middle of the NFL season, and we do cover Raiders content as well as other NFL content on this channel. So, also want to let you guys know I am down in the My City, My Game snack back hat that is available on the merch website. Link is down in the description, as well as a My City, My Game t-shirt. So make sure you guys go check that out. It is actually red. It looks a little bit orange, which is weird, but this is a red shirt, just coming through a little orangish on the camera. But oh well, you know, it is what it is. So definitely make sure you guys go check that out. Yeah, let me let you guys see some of the examples. Here's a little commercial here for the My City, My Game merchandise. So yeah, definitely make sure you go check that out. Go to the link in the description, or excuse me, go to the link, in the description. Click on it, or copy and paste it. Go get you some My City, My Game merch. All the proceeds go right back into the channel, so we can do giveaways, all kinds of cool content and stuff like that. So definitely appreciate y'all's support. Go check it out. All right. With that being said, let's move on to the next topic, which is the starting lineup for the Portland Trailblazers. Now, we know that there were some additions, there were some trades, and this Cantor is back, right? We do know that Zach Collins is still nursing an injury. He's still not 100%, so he's probably not going to be back right away to start the season. Rodney Hood's still rehabbing an injury from last season, so he might not be starting right away, or he may not be playing right away, but they're going to have to see. But on NBCSports.com, they put out a really good article. Make sure you go check them out. And then talking about Terry Stotts and what he had to say as far as the starting lineup. It says Coach Stotts hinted at whom he will start this year with Zach Collins, not yet healthy enough to return to game action. Let's take a look at the likely starting five and the roles each player in both the first and second units will most likely play this season. So here is their predicted or assumed starting lineup according to comments made by Terry Stotts. Obviously, point guard Damian Lillard, Dame time, the real MVP. He's going to be starting at the point guard position. Last season, he averaged 30 points, 8 assists, 4.3 rebounds. His 2021 outlook, with Lillard's with Lillard's prime years upon us, this season looks to bring about more MVP buzz than when thinking about how the upcoming season could play out for the Blazers team captain. Lillard is about continuing to improve his game, and he was quoted saying, "Just like I can get better, every guy on our roster could be better and do better for more focus or to be more focused or sharper to do their job better. The same goes for me," Lillard said on Tuesday. Obviously, right next to him is going to be shooting guard CJ McCollum, the mid-range assassin. He averaged 22.2 points last season, 4.4 assists, and 4.2 rebounds. The outlook for him, 2021, McCollum showed off his ability to put his teammates in a good position to score, as we all saw an uptick in assists last season, especially with Lillard out due to injuries. Sure, McCollum can run point and will, but his scoring, and particularly his mid-range scoring, isn't going anywhere. His quote, "I thought Neil did a great job continuing to make a lot happen with not a lot of assets being moved," McCollum said. "Covington, you look at what he can do right away defensively, 3-and-D guy. He's got length. He can play a lot of positions. D. Jones can play a lot of positions. He's athletic. He can guard." That was a quote from an interview he did this week. Now, small forward, Derrick Jones Jr., the superstar athlete. Obviously, we know Derrick Jones Jr. won the dunk contest, so the guy is just one of those freak athletes. On Tuesday, Stott said that Derrick Jones Jr. will most likely get the start at small forward, at least for now, while Rodney Hood works through potential minutes restrictions coming back from his Achilles injury. Jones Jr. has already expressed how he is looking forward to playing alongside Lillard and McCollum, and with his athleticism, he will bring the excitement on both ends. He, last season, averaged 8.5 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 1.1 assists. His outlook, the Trailblazers will depend on Jones Jr.'s length and athleticism, specifically on the defensive end. He's a great slasher and could finish at the rim when called upon. He could be a sleeper option on offense when opponents are focused on Lillard and McCollum. His quote, "I know a lot of people love to score, and that's the part of the game you want. You want to score," Jr. said. "I just love defense. It just makes me happy when my teammates get steals or blocks, anything. I'm out there driving on the floor. Whatever I need to do, I'll do it." So next up, we got at power forward, Robert Covington, a certified 3-and-D. His last season stats are 12.4 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. So now the Trailblazers have Robert Covington. He'll likely be starting the starting four, as Coach Stotts also said on Tuesday, that he will most likely be the starting four. His outlook, Covington is a certified 3-and-D player, and even though most people are high on the defense, on his defensive prowess, and rightfully so, it is his three-point shooting that could also make a big difference this season. With the way Lillard attacks the rim and how much force is always put on the Blazers' backcourt for opposing teams, or the pick and roll between Lillard and Yusuf Nurkic, now that could mean a lot more open threes for Covington. He was quoted saying, "It's been my job. That's been my job for the last 5 years. I've excelled at it." Talking about defense, explained Covington. "I take that challenge on heavily. Guys have specific roles, and I'm not one of the people that's a guy that goes out. I'm not one of the people that's a guy that goes out and scores 30, 40 points a night. I'm the guy that's supposed to stop other people from getting 30, 40. That's something I'm really excited about because one of the things that the Blazers have really, really struggled with is their defensive play, especially going into the postseason. Defense, defense, defense. And they've struggled with it, man. But adding a guy like Robert Covington is going to improve this defense dramatically. You know, it's a guy that can cover the likes of AD and some of the other guys that we're going to have to face come the postseason if we want to get to the Western Conference Finals and win a championship. So, and then of course at the center position, Yusuf Nurkic, the beastly anchor down low. His last season stats in 8 bubble games were 17.6 points, 10.3 rebounds, and 4 assists. His 2021 outlook, the Bosnian Beast is eager to have a full season under his belt. The Blazers will rely on him on both ends, and hello, Lillard and Nurkic pick and roll. Let's get ready to see that strong connection once again. And he was quoted saying, "I feel like 2 years ago, if we didn't lose Nurkic, Cantor was actually quoted saying this. I feel like 2 years ago, if we didn't lose Nurk, we could have won a championship." Cantor explained, "Nurk brings so much to the table. I always say to the people around me, I see him as an all-star. I think this year he has a really good chance to make an all-star. 2 years ago, when I signed with the Blazers after getting released by the Knicks, that was one of the things I was most excited about. Playing to play alongside Nurkic. What he did in the bubble after not playing a whole season just shows what kind of player and what kind of human being he is." All right, so now the second unit, Carmelo Anthony, 6th Man of the Year candidate. So now we turn our attention to the bench. Coach Stotts mentioned Tuesday during his interview to start the season that he had several talks with Carmelo Anthony about coming off the bench. And as Stotts said, oftentimes it doesn't matter who starts, but who finishes the games. Last season, Carmelo averaged 15.4 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. His 2021 outlook, just to think of all the Melo ISO options and scoring options in general in the second unit for Anthony now. The future Hall of Famer's usage will most likely go up a lot this season, being the star off the bench. Coach Stotts explained that the season begins a new chapter for Melo. He said, "Melo was great, whether he starts or doesn't start, whether there's a good chance he finishes games," Stotts said. "We've said this before. It's not who starts, it's who finishes. So I think Melo is in a good place. He understands his role on the team." All right, so next up in the second unit, we got Gary Trent Jr., the second unit spark plug. So, of course, every team needs a spark plug to enter the game and instantly make an impact, and Gary Trent Jr. has become that guy for Portland. Last season, he averaged 8.9 points, 1.6 rebounds, and 1 assist. His 2021 outlook, there's no reason to expect Trent Jr. to take his foot off the gas pedal. His bulldog mentality on defense is there to stay, and now we can see him work his offense with Melo and Enes Kanter in the second unit. Trent Jr. took advantage of injuries last season, as Trailblazers president of basketball operations Neil O'Shea pointed out last week. He said, "He became the default 6th man to a degree, and I expect him to build off that this year." O'Shea said, "He's probably one of the hot names coming out of the bubble. The highest thing for Gary was his energy and commitment he made on the defensive end." That is absolutely true. He played really, really great defense. So I'm really excited about this second unit. It looks like there's going to be a lot of good transition from the first unit to the second unit, but we'll get more into that in a minute. All right, Rodney Hood, the go-to veteran. December 6th will be the 1-year mark since Rodney Hood tore his left Achilles. And since Coach Stotts explained that Hood may be held to a minutes restriction to start the season, the Blazers will have him come off the bench at least for now. Last season, in just 21 games, he averaged 11 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. His outlook for 2021, the Trailblazers look at Hood as being another primary ball handler, especially in the second unit. His veteran leadership will be extremely helpful for the young guns in Trent Jr. and Anthony Simons. Hood said last April that it was his plan to return to Portland. "The one thing I do know is that I will be in Portland. I will be a Portland Trailblazers uniform next year. Hood said, as far as the contract is concerned, it will work itself out when the time comes. But I fully expect to be in a Portland Trailblazers uniform next year. I want to be back here in Portland. Next up on the second unit, we have Enes Kanter, the double-double machine. Y'all remember Enes Kanter, not last season, but the season before when we went to the AFC, when we went to the Western Conference championship. He was a key player, man. He was a key player all year. Nurkic was down, obviously, with that season-ending ankle injury. And Enes Kanter, man, he came in and he played lights out for us. Tuesday, CJ McCollum mentioned the possibility of playing a big lineup with Enes Kanter and Yusuf Nurkic together. So get ready for the Twin Towers at times. But for the most part, Kanter will anchor the second unit and bring some serious rebounding and scoring when the starters need a break. His stats last season, 8.1 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, and 1 assist. His 2021 outlook. Now the center depth is complete. Kanter will earn valuable bench minutes and be a go-to scoring option for the second unit. Not to mention he'll give the Blazers so many second-chance opportunities while he cleans the offensive glass. After signing with Boston in July of 2019, Kanter is now ready to run it back with Portland. He said, "I'm excited to be here," Kanter said. "I think it's going to be an amazing season. It feels like home here." I'm excited to have Kanter back. I thought he played really well. I was disappointed when he left. I was disappointed about the circumstances of how he left, but it sounds like, Damian Lillard actually was talking about that. Sorry, guys, I've got a little issue with my camera, so give me just a quick second here, and I'll get right back up. Oh, that's not it. We are going to get right back up here. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Whew, all right, where were we? So, yes, I'm really glad to have Enes Kanter back. I'm really excited about it. He definitely is he definitely is a great center. The guy plays his heart out. He played his heart out for Portland. When we went to the Western Conference Finals that season, he played for us. So I'm excited to have him back. All right, so next up, we got, of course, Anthony Simons, or Anthony Simmons, the walking bucket for real. So Anthony Simons may not see the floor as much as he did last season after averaging 20.7 minutes per game, but as Lillard and Neil O'Shea have pointed out, he is the Blazers' backup point guard. He averaged 8.3 points per game, 2.2 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. In his 2021 outlook, having another year under his belt will likely be key. It's his inconsistency that has held him back from taking the next leap. There's no doubt that he will continue to dazzle on the offensive end, but for him to earn more playing time and really earn Coach Stotts' trust, he'll have to keep working on the other end of the ball. Lillard and Coach Stotts had plenty to say Tuesday about the chatter on social media regarding the Blazers' need for a backup point guard this offseason. I saw somewhere Neil O'Shea said, "We do have a backup point guard, Anthony Simons." I agree with that, Lillard said. "Because in the summer I worked out with Ant a few times when we were in the same place. We'd work out together, same trainer. Ant is super talented. It's just he came in the league young, and it takes time. It takes experience, and it takes time to play against the best in the world, grown men. He didn't play in college. You just got to give him a chance, and I think he'll play more minutes. He played more minutes last year than he did his rookie year. He was out there at big moments. He had a big shot against Philly last year, so he proved that he can be out there and help the team. We should expect Lillard and McCollum to handle most of the ball handling duties. Quote, Damon CJ, I think, have excelled in the role. CJ has been very good as a backup point guard, Stotts said. I think he'll continue in that role. I think Anthony will obviously have opportunities to play some minutes if they're needed as a backup. But you can make an argument that if Anthony is out there with Dame or he's out there with CJ, then CJ would be the point guard and Anthony would be the two guard. Anthony is going to obviously be a handler, but I think CJ and Dame have shown obviously a high proficiency of being a point guard, and Anthony Simons is there if we need him. And then, of course, last but not least, in the second unit, you got Zach Collins, an eventual 11-man rotation. We cannot forget about Zach Collins. Collins is slated to make his return in mid to late January following surgery on his left ankle. He averaged last season in just 11 games, 7 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. His 2021 outlook, the nice thing about Collins is his versatility. He can see time on both the 4 and the 5 this season. But again, having so much front court depth is never a bad thing. He was quoted saying, I'd rather have a lot of bodies than not enough bodies. McCollum was quoted saying, I'd rather have a lot of bodies than not enough bodies on Tuesday. So, with that being said, this looks like a dangerous team, y'all. I mean, you talk about depth. They've got some depth and they've got some talented depth on this team. And I'm really excited about it. As a matter of fact, bringing back Carmelo Anthony as a role player, as a leader of the second unit, that is really, really exciting. Damian Lillard actually had some stuff to say in an interview about Carmelo Anthony. And I'm going to play the audio here for you guys. Just got to bring it up here. All right. So Damian Lillard was asked about Carmelo Anthony and him coming back. And this is what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited. You know, I was talking to Melo pretty much every other day. You know, just trying to be realistic, you know, about the situation, and he was being realistic about it as well. He wanted to come back. I wanted him to come back. You know, all our teammates wanted him to come back. Terry wanted him to come back. You know, we wanted it to get done, and I think Melo coming back. You know, even when we got him last year, it's just a respect factor. You know. When you play against teams and they size your team up, and some teams look at us, you know, and they look at our starting lineup and they'll say, you know, okay, we got to figure out how to stop Dame. We got to figure out CJ and then Nurk, you know. But a lot of times when you play against these teams, it's like, do they respect you? You know, who's out there that they respect? And I think when you have Carmelo Anthony out there, regardless of the age or, you know, whatever people say, it's a respect factor. You know, people respect you different. I think that's a big key for us, you know, having that respect, you know, people looking at us with a little bit more respect. And then just what he brings to the table. You know, you see in the bubble, he's a big shot maker. You know, he's a future Hall of Famer, and it's that belief, you know, that veteran voice. And, you know, having that in the locker room is really good for our team. And, you know, somebody we can also throw the ball to and, you know, in big moments and ISO or trust his instincts and have him on the floor to finish games, whatever the case may be. When you got somebody like that, you know, it's a big part to a team.
So that's what Damian Lillard had to say about re-signing Carmelo Anthony. Again, y'all, I'm really excited about it, man. I wanted Melo back. I know some people do not agree with that. I know some people are anti-Melo. I think that the guy is definitely, especially leading that second unit, you know, that veteran presence on that second unit, somebody to be out there, you know, to really keep guys on point, to really be that leader, to drive that second team, that second unit. I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about what this team is going to do this season. I'm looking I'm looking at NBA. I'm looking at the Western Conference Championship again, man. With this team, with the additions of Robert Covington and Jones Jr., bringing back Melo, bringing back Hood. Once Hood's back, healthy again, and he's able to run again. Whether it be full minutes or restricted minutes, even. I mean, keep if Jones Jr. is out there and he's playing well, keep Rodney Hood, on that second unit. The guy that's been with the team for a while. Him out there with Carmelo Anthony. I'm with that, man. I'm definitely with that. Anthony Simon's getting better and better always. Dame has nothing but great stuff to say about him. And Dame is not one of those kind of guys that will really pull any punches. He's an Oakland cat. So he's going to come out and tell you exactly how he feels. And so if he's got that much if he's got that much confidence in Anthony, being point on that second unit, man, I'm with it. And like I said, with the veteran presence of like Rodney Hood and Enes Kanter and Carmelo Anthony on that second team, man, let's go, man. That is dangerous. Y'all should be excited. Blazers fans, Rip City should be excited right now. Because this is a good, deep, talented team. Anyhow, so that's what we got for today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to have lots more Trailblazers content coming up, especially as the season gets going. Definitely going to be talking a lot of NBA games, stuff like that, streaming stuff live, the games live, doing live play-by-play reactions, that sort of stuff. We can't stream games, the actual game. We can't show it on the screen for copyright purposes, but we definitely do the audio. Definitely do live play-by-play, all that kind of good stuff. So, and reactions, that sort of thing. So definitely make sure you check it out, like, subscribe, hit the bell. And I want to let you guys know before we head out here, before everything is over, what we got coming from thrivefantasy.com.
What's up, fantasy champions? Spotlight Sports Network is excited to tell you about an amazing deal from Thrive Fantasy, your place for daily fantasy sports and esports. Right now, with promo code SS Network, Thrive Fantasy will match up to $50 of your first deposit. So go to thrivefantasy.com and sign up now with promo code SS Network. That's thrivefantasy.com, promo code SS Network.
So that is the promo right now coming from thrivefantasy.com, your place for all sports and esports, fantasy. If you love fantasy gaming, definitely go check that out. Hit that promo code SS Network and you get up to $50 matched on your first deposit. So go check them out. Other than that, man, we're going to get up out of here. You guys have a good one, man. And Rip City, baby.
Welcome to the My City, My Game pod show featuring Raider J77, your place for all things Raiders and all things Trailblazers. Brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Now let's go.